So this is what we gathered. So we observed different like themes like the other teams. So here we have pictures.
It's our team.
Yeah. So what's working? Mostly like people are excited about the book fairs. Kids are excited. Parents are excited. However, so the promotion works very well. That's a core thing that's working. So if they get prepared in advance, they have the little video that's showing all the books that come up. If the librarians make some remarks about the books, the kids remember, and then will remember to purchase it then in the book fair.
Yeah, so overall there was, like we were saying, there was a lot of positive, a lot of things that are working really well. So that was great to see. And but then we also noticed that sometimes some of the things that some people point out, some things that were working, you know, like the exciting goodies that bring the tchotchkes or whatever we want to call them, bring in kids and make money, you know, is also a negative on the other side. So we saw that with a number of the things. Like here, kids like the prices of the books. They definitely, the schools we talked to, like that loose change where, you know, something was $11.20, save that extra change. One of the schools used that a lot, and they said it got a lot of books for a lot of kids that way. So on our next page,
so what can be improved? So we started by our reflection process by two statements that we heard. So first that it's too parent-centered, said the teachers themselves.
This is Mrs. Mueller, 6th grade teacher.
So, and they wish it would more focus on the kids than on the parents who have the money, though. And that the best way to get kids interested in books fair is to make them work on it. So if kids were more involved in the book fair, they would probably be more excited, they would probably get their peers to go, and it would be like a cooler fair. Because in the schools we went to, most of the kids were just hanging out outside because it's not really cool to read, so you just hang out with your friends instead.
And so that was interviewing all the adults we talked to, the librarian of 30 years, the present librarian who's been there 8 years, teachers. It was, you need to get the kids more involved. So that sort of became a focus that we looked at. And so like Julie was saying, we sort of, from that looking backwards, you know, you have kids saying things, you know, it's not cool enough, or what about this title? And I'm sure everyone, Hunger Games was a huge theme we saw absolutely everywhere. So that's something that suddenly books are cool and reading is cool. So we started seeing that a lot of the issues that have come up that we've heard people talk about, like not enough money, or how do you get those 7th and 8th graders interested, a lot more like what this teacher said, it's too parent-centered. We need to be looking at kids as a resource for solving a lot of these problems. So we started thinking about a lot of the things that were brought up by both adults and kids. Need more audiobooks. The theme is stupid. That was one. They were like, why is it a Leo? That has nothing to do with reading. And they wanted more literary, like, why isn't it Hunger Games? Because, you know. So again, all these things we started saying, you know, okay, well, why aren't the students selecting the theme? Or they have such a buy-in. If you get, especially like 7th and 8th grade, if they're taking ownership of something, more likely they're not going to destroy, they're not going to steal because it's their deal. Now luckily, yeah, parent support is helpful too, but that's what a lot of, and so a lot of these ideas we came up with are generated from students.
So then we started to narrow down to a point of view, which would be to focus more on the kids in the middle school because they are the more reluctant to reading, because above 6th grade apparently they just like, oh, no, I don't want to read anymore. So we were looking for a better way to engage students in reading because kids lose interest in books when they grow older.
And now we were kind of, I mean, we put this around it, this throughout, it's kind of fluid statement, but we're kind of almost looking like middle schools need middle schoolers in order to do this. And then I'm not really sure how focused. I mean, you know, that in and of itself could be a POV or how to use.
I think it's, I'm going to jump in, I think it's really close. I think you could even add more, engage through blank. So you add
right, well we have, because we were thinking of changing it to middle schools need middle schoolers in order to...
Something. We could fool around with a couple of point of views and start ideating and see if there's something there.
And there's even some specific things kids have suggested already that we think would improve, like the money thing. They had ideas for how to get money, books into the hands of all the kids. How do you... Yeah. So it's sort of...
When you get a direct idea from an observation, write them down. They might be something, but sometimes back out of them and see what the need was around that, and then turn that into your... Because it's hard just to go fishing right for the idea sometimes, but there's the need there, what they're trying to express, I think. Sorry, keep going.
Well, so I guess what our overall feeling was that somehow intuition is that it's going to be looking to kids to solve the problems, not that we're not going to be there as well, but we need generally, you know, it's oftentimes with schools, and obviously I have a little bit of insider, not such new eyes on this, but it's people from the outside solving it, and there's very often kids, when you start talking to kids, they have answers, but it's very rare that decisions are like directly going to the kids and letting them solve problems in the schools. And you know, we never didn't let kids, but interview the kid who's not being let into the book fair for not having money, and I'm sure that kid will have a lot to say if you can have a conversation.
Or mechanisms that would help them
Yeah.
solve. So
I
this
think-
is great, guys. So I think a round of applause.